Hello, my name is Ninja Looter, and I wanted to make this quick video guide to help players conquer Hellgates. Now the first mob and mini boss you encounter with Hellgate is the Gatekeeper. He has two main abilities. The first is a frontal cone attack that has a cast timer and can be interrupted. This will deal heavy damage, but the cast time is long enough that it should be easily avoidable. The second ability is a damage over time effect that is targeted on a random party member. This dot does have a cast time and can be interrupted as well. The damage from the dot is enough to kill players in tier 4 cloth armor, so I highly recommend prioritizing interrupting this dot and also using callouts on who has the dot so the healer can focus heals to keep the player alive. After killing the Gatekeeper, the Hellgate will appear over its corpse and your party can click on it to start teleporting inside. Once inside, you will either be on the left or right starting area. The map is completely symmetrical, and both sides have the exact same mob pools, so the tricks to pulling certain groups will be the same on both sides. Now the first group of mobs should be easy to do. Just make sure to focus the bats first and the demons second, as the bats do way more damage. When you get to this group of 2 bats and 2 demons, stop. This group is very difficult to do if your entire team is not in at least full tier 5. But here's where we can do a trick that I like to call the Bruce method. Now here is Bruce. He is a very underappreciated, lonely, and awkward bat. If you have a ranged party member attack once he is in this position, away from the other mobs, then you will only aggro Bruce and the demon next to him, while the other bat and demon will just mind their own business and not care that you just attacked Bruce. Now I mistimed my attack and Bruce started going back to his buddies and pulled an extra demon. But I will show you what happens when you pull it correctly with Bruce's twin brother on the other side of the map called Frank. This is Frank. If you attack Frank when he is in this position, then you only pull Frank and the demon next to him. I highly recommend using this method as it is fairly easy to do, and I find it's a lot simpler and less quirky than some of the other methods available. Once you finish this group of 4 mobs, you need to start being very cautious and switch to your PvP abilities. As from this point forward, you'll most likely be running into the other team of 5 players. Now the other group of players do not always teleport into the Hellgate at the same time as you do, so they may not have made it to the center part of the map yet. What my guild likes to do is walk over to their side, check to see if their bridge mobs are still alive, and if we see their nameplates. If we don't see any sign of the other group, we start working our way slowly and cautiously towards their starting area. We do this not only to check for the enemy team, but also killing these mobs will mean more fame and silver. By now, if you have not seen the other group of 5 players, then most likely you are alone in this hell for the rest of the time and are free to go back and kill the boss. Once you run back towards the boss area and clear a few more mobs, you will run into this pack of 2 demons and 4 bats. For this group, you will want to use the leashing method. This method can be used for any group of mobs in any dungeon. The idea is that one person in your party leashes the mobs and runs away to reset them. In the meantime, you have your tank pull aggro on 1 or 2 of the mobs by auto attacking. You must not do anything but auto attacks to try and pull aggro. Heals, shields, taunts, and even sometimes just moving around will pull aggro for the entire group of mobs. This method is very quirky, and sometimes all the mobs will just all aggro on your tank for no reason. So have the rest of your party stand here to be able to quickly reset the entire pull. Once the other mobs do start resetting, just call it out, and your entire party is free to start using all their abilities to kill the 1 or 2 mobs that your tank aggroed. And also, don't be afraid of using the leashing method multiple times on this pack of mobs just to make it easier and less risky for your entire party. After that, you will need to kill a couple more packs of mobs, and you will get to the boss area. Here, there is 1 bat inside on the southern part of the area, and 4 demons that patrol the 4 corners of the area. Make sure to kill these 5 mobs before starting the boss fight, because if you don't, they will automatically be aggroed once you start fighting the boss. Here is the final boss of the Hellgate, the Overlord. The Overlord has 2 abilities. The first is a large area effect centered around the Overlord himself that occurs in 22-second intervals starting after the first time he uses the ability. If you keep track of how much time has passed, you can have your melee start running out of the area prior to the boss actually casting it. Anyone hit by this AoE will take some heavy damage and get knocked back. The second ability the boss has is a targeted range ability that will leave behind a small circle of lava for a minute. Standing in this puddle of lava will deal a large amount of damage every second, so make sure to get out of it as soon as possible. The boss will preference using this lava puddle ability on ranged players, so our basic strategy around this ability is to have our ranged DPS and healers stacked together and then just rotate counterclockwise around the boss. This prevents us from getting separated and also leaves as much room as possible for dodging future lava puddles. As long as you avoid these two abilities, the boss fight becomes very simple and easy as the boss himself does little auto attack damage to the tank. This now concludes the guide, and I hope it makes Hellgates much more appealing and easier for new players as they are a great source of combat fame and silver. Thank you for watching, and good luck out there in the world of Albion.